So there's a couple of things I want to explain on how this is going to work. First, I am going to have a local, say, a local Docker client here. So I have my computer with my local laptop here where I develop running Docker containers, but I don't. I have Kubernetes, the client installed here. So I'm going to put Kubernetes here, but just the client. And the idea is that I want to use the same commands in the CLI, but communicate all the way here with a remote cluster of Kubernetes all the way there, right? So remote, we're gonna put here remote Kubernetes. So the remote Kubernetes is going to, it's fine, but like I'm going to communicate over SSH. So I'm gonna create a tunnel, right? I'm gonna create a tunnel over there that is going to allow me to communicate to and from the remote Kubernetes, but seamlessly all through the CLI, right? Just using the shell. So that's the idea. That's what we want to do. That's what we want to achieve, and we'll see how we can do that. Okay, so we have here my local terminal. This is my local computer, and I have Docker installed. So I'm going to do which Docker is available, and which kubectl or kubectl, and that works as well. Docker version is at 20.10.7, and the idea is that I want to be able to run some Docker, rather Kubernetes commands like kubectl, get pods. And so I'm trying to get pods, and it says the connection to the server Kubernetes Docker internal was refused. Did you specify the right host or port? The problem here is that I don't have Kubernetes running in this computer. This is a Mac computer. I don't have Kubernetes running. I only have the client. I only have the command line tool. So what do we do then? Well, I do have this other server that it's a remote server. I'm going to SSH. It's a Mac Mini actually, and it prompts me for my password. And if I do which kubectl, that works. Kubectl get pods -- all namespaces. That should work. It connects to the local Kubernetes running there. So it's a lot of stuff running in there. So, but that's the remote, right? And I want to have the same behavior locally. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna create a tunnel. How is this tunnel going to work? Well, let's exit out of here, which is the remote server. I'm gonna Control D. I'm gonna clear these, and we're going to create a tunnel. So the way the tunnel works is, well, you can create a tunnel with different ways, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna specify SSH, and then we're gonna say IPv4. That -n means IPv4. And then we are, well, actually -n means does not require a command to run. So it's just going to create the tunnel. It's not going to run any command in the remote end. Next, I'm going to do -l, which means listen. And I'm going to say listen on the 6443 port locally. And the IP that we're going to assign to this is localhost. And listen to 6443 on the remote side, and this is going to be the Mac Mini. Now, you could, if you have something different, I have this map to this thing. It could be, say, for example, admin at 10.0.0.1 or whatever the IP address is for your remote host. In my case, I have that map to Mac Mini, so that should work no problem. So let me run this and see what happens. So first thing is that it prompts me for my password. So I put my password in there, and now it hangs or appears to hang, and that is because I didn't use the -F flag to send it to the background. Let me show you what I have here behind the scenes, and this Mac Mini server is what's running remotely. I have the Docker for desktop installed. You can see that Docker desktop is running, Kubernetes is running, and you can see Kubernetes is using Docker for desktop. So if I click here on Kubernetes, it's version 1.21.2, and this is the remote one. This is using a remote desktop viewer. All right, so now I have created my tunnel. Let me open a new tab here, and now if I do kubectl and get pods, this is going to connect over the SSH tunnel. So now this is my local computer, and this is returning what's on the remote server. So you can see that this is a very effective way of a very simple way with a tunnel to really connect to a remote Docker instance. So if I switch tabs over this one and I Control-C out of here, so I terminate the tunnel, and I go back here and I try to run the same command, this is not gonna work. And you get this odd behavior of like the connection to the server was refused. Did you specify the right host or port? Now, if I want to send the command to the background, well, I would just use a -F here, and after the password, that gets my prompt back and creates the tunnel. So the tunnel is effectively not looking like it's hanging. So if I go back here and run the same command, it will return everything back again. Same deal with Docker PS. So that is how you run this. And another really nice thing is using K9s. So I've installed K9s. In this case, I brew install K9s. The way you run it is you simply use K9s like this, and because I was able to create a tunnel. You can see here it's looking at the pods that are running remotely, and there's a lot of things here I can do. If I say if I do question mark, it gives me the help menu. You can see here escape is back clear, command clear, command mode. And I can do all kinds of things like mark something and reload and save. So for example, Control-R is reload. So let me try reload on this one. I just did Control-R is refreshing. Not a problem. Let's get into this git operator. So if I click S, it'll drop me to the terminal inside that git operator. Let's see what we have here. Cat etc OS release. Let's see what this container is. Oh, it's an Ubuntu 2010, pretty nifty. If I Control D out of these, it drops me back here, and you can see it allows you to do all kinds of things. Control K for killing. Let's try to kill this and see what happens. Delete resources, and now you can see there's stuff happening here. Kubernetes managed to restart. So a lot of really nifty things here. I just pressed 0, which was this one right here, and allow me to go all the way up. And you can see here that there's a lot of different things, and I have different namespaces as well. This is the JX namespace, and I have a build controller, and you can look at logs. I'm gonna press L, and well, this is just, there's no logs right now. I can say, give me the logs for the past 5 hours. I think it's number 5, 4, 5. You can see how this changes 15 minutes. There's nothing going on. So escape brings me back, and escape again brings me back to this thing here. So that's K9s. I can Control C out of here and gets me back to my terminal. So these are two really useful things that you can use. One is K9s, and the other one is the remote Kubernetes over SSH tunnel. Hopefully you find that super useful, and you start working with Kubernetes in an easier, more streamlined way.